Bueno, hoy nos encontramos en una edición de CPAC aquí en Dallas, Texas. Estoy con mi amiga Janel, que llegó directamente de Florida. Janel,
Hi.
how's your experience here in CPAC?
So far, I love it. And what we're seeing is there's a lot of people here, and they're primarily talking about the impact that religion has in the Conservative Party and why it's so crucial to have traditional values, really. I think that's what's most important and impactful for the country, especially in a time like now.
Absolutely. What we've been seeing in this CPAC specific, which is I've been in other CPACs in Washington, D.C., but this year specific, I've been in a lot of, it's a center of Iran.
Yes.
The situation that we're living now in the Middle East is being the center pretty much of this convention this year here in Dallas. So we've been seeing a lot of media, it's a lot of stages, and I haven't seen before so many digital platforms, conservative digital platforms, that thank God these days, because of the social media, the technology, it's a voice that before it was not heard.
Yes, absolutely. What you want to know what I think about it?
Yes.
Well, I think that it's extremely impactful, and it's grown so much because obviously we're in the digital age. We need to reach the masses at a very impactful and grand level, which I think is what's happening really. And that's actually just going to expand even more. But also there's a big flaw in traditional media, which we've seen that there's just so many people and so much misinformation. I think that what has happened is that people have felt inspired to create their own digital platforms as well. So everybody has their own side of the story and everybody can report what they're seeing, because we're losing trust in traditional mainstream media. Do you agree with that?
Absolutely. I've been in media, in the traditional media. I was there for 15 years. And I know what you're talking about. Media, traditional media these days is not what it used to be back in the time.
Correct.
When people didn't have the option to watch TV, it was either you watch traditional media.
What they're telling you.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
it.
And we were just going with the facts. These days it's not. But because of the technology and because of the streaming platforms, so voices that before were not heard, and people has options thanks to that. Another thing that I want to talk, Janelle, is like many people don't know what is CPAC, what is coming from. We know that it's coming from 1974 of the Reagan era, and why CPAC was created. It was created because it was a crisis after Watergate, and it was created as a platform for the conservative people like us, and now we Latinos, we see more people, more Latinos, contrary of the traditional media is talking that we are not conservatives. We are very conservative because family values, a small government, and that's why CPAC became one of the platforms for the conservatives that before it didn't exist. And today, the beauty of that is like people from around the world, that from everywhere, they can be here. And also now it's not only CPAC in the United States, it's also
Global.
CPAC in other countries.
Global. And to me, it really feels like a movement also. And that's what makes it so impactful as well, because once everybody starts seeing this on a global scale, now other countries have adopted the same foundation. And like what we just interviewed, that gentleman from the Dominican Republic, he's now starting a movement where it's the more far right. And that's something that we want to see a little bit more, especially us, that we care about tradition, we care about values, we care about things that are very valuable for our children. What are those things? We do want spirituality and religion tied in some way. We do want Jesus. We talk about Jesus. Whereas the left is very liberal when it comes to religion and spirituality. They don't really care about things like that. They don't have that foundation. So I think that that's why this movement is so impactful also globally. And so many people are starting to wake up to that realization.
Absolutely. And everywhere that we've been walking, it's a camera or it's a phone that they're using as a camera as we're using it today.
Documentation, publishing.
Moms for America.
Yes.
Look at this, Moms for America.
Yes. Oh my, I actually know the founder. I met her at Mar-a-Lago. We should.
It's Moms for America. It's like different platform that people never heard about it, but it's a specific niche, a specific group that they want to address a specific need, specific issues. But at the end of the day, it goes back to the values as the common ground.
Yes. Well, everybody has their mission. and we're basically brought onto this world for that specific mission, so that mission can be fulfilled. And now with the digital era, everybody's mission is being amplified because they have that platform now, which is so incredible. I mean, when have we ever seen an era like this before? Everybody in here is documenting and publishing all their efforts, all the impact that they're creating. It's a beautiful thing.
And you know what? Janel is Cuban Lebanese.
Yes.
And I am Colombian, a little bit of Lebanese. My kids are also from Lebanon.
So we're extra spicy.
Exactly. We are a melting pot.
Yes.
But we are conservatives. And when I mean conservatives, not necessarily it has to be with the Republican Party. It's just conservative values, family. And you know, family is everything for us.
Yes. I also wanted to pinpoint, so this is another hot topic, right, that we've been kind of just observing in the past couple of months. When I say that I am conservative or I'm Republican, that doesn't always necessarily mean that I have to agree with everything that our current president says, right? So this is something else that I love to talk about with other conservatives, which I would say 85% of conservatives agree. When we have a president that is also conservative, doesn't necessarily mean we have to be aligned with every single thing that they attribute to. You know, we can have disagreements. Hey, I can think that there's another conservative president that's more fit for the role, and that's perfectly fine. And I'm still a conservative. I'm still a Republican. I wanted to make that very clear because I think that's so important too.
Well, conservatives are fun too. Look at this.
Oh yeah,
Even fashion we have here at CPAC. It's amazing how CPAC is every year, it grows and it brings opportunities and platforms for the conservative values that sometimes are very